Welcome to the show. Glad you came. We're gonna uh, listen. I'm here. I'm not here to tear you down. I'm not here to embarrass you. I'm not here for any of that. I'm here to answer your questions. Where did all the good men go? Okay. Why aren't men approaching you? Why aren't men asking you out? Um, why aren't they buying you drinks? I'm a man, so I'm qualified to answer these questions. Okay. Now, I know some of you aren't going to like the answers. And I'm going to try to be as delicate as I can because I'm not trying to piss you off. I'm here to help. Okay. So let's, I really don't know how to start this, but I think I'm going to just start with this. Okay. Um, I think, a lot of it, feminism obviously is a lot to do with it. Okay. Um, so unfortunately, the, it only takes one bad apple to spoil a bunch, right? So feminist women have ruined men, and men are completely um, uh, comfortable, happy, at peace being alone. I happen to be one of those men, okay? And just so you know, I know none of you women out there watching this video, I don't check any of your boxes. I already know I'm not the man you're looking for. So good. We know, all right. So we've established that. Would I like to have a woman in my life? Yes. Yeah, I'd love to have a woman in my life. Do I need a woman in my life? No, I don't need a. Listen, I'm living in my dream right now. I just built a 32,000 cubic feet garage, and I'm building an apartment, 1,600 square foot apartment inside the garage to house all of my cars and my hobbies and have a man cave in here. I have a home that I live in on the property. I have 3 acres. All right. So this was my dream. I have my dream. Would I like to share it with someone? Yes, I would. Is that going to be you? No, it's probably not. So, but anyway, um, yeah, so I finished part of the room, the first room. So you're looking at the finished drywall behind me. This isn't a green screen. This is real. Um, and the cabinetry is from IKEA, and most of what's on the shelf is 3D printed stuff that I've printed and put on the shelf. So there's other things up there too, but most of it's 3D printed stuff. That's one of my hobbies. So, all right, so let's just get to it. So, um, all right, so the first thing I want to talk about is I want you to. This is a self help test. Okay, there are no wrong answers. Nobody's going to know your answers. You're not going to put them in the comments below. It's not what I'm looking for. You just evaluate yourself. I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to honestly answer it to yourself, the answer, and think about it. Okay? There's no right or wrong answers. I'm going to try to guide you through something that may make you understand that you may be shooting too high what you're looking for. What would make you happy? Okay, so I want you to pick a male actor that checks all your boxes. He's 6'2". He's good looking, great build. Personality wise, who's that perfect man? Who would you love to be um, coupled with? The man of your dreams. Who and pick an actor. Um, and I'm going to give you a minute to think about it. There's a lot. I know there's a lot of them out there, and probably a lot of them check your boxes. But give me that 10 guy. Who's the 10? Okay, so you pick that out, and we'll. Um, I'm going to just say this while you're thinking about that. I think, me personally, this is just my personal opinion. I think the greatest gift God gave the earth is women. I know that's corny and sounds funny, but for me, a natural woman is the prettiest, the most beautiful thing on earth to look at for me. Okay. and it doesn't matter. Shape, size is not really that important. Your smile, it makes a big difference. But in general, now I'm going to tell you right now, there's exceptions to every rule, and no matter what, even the stuff I'm going to tell you, of course, there are exceptions to that rule. So it's nothing's concrete what I'm going to tell you today, but the majority, and by a large amount, the majority, okay, is going to be true. So, but there's always an exception. Okay. All right. So now you've got a man. All right. Now I want you to pair an actress, famous actress that you think is the match to that perfect man, your dream man. Who's the perfect actress that you would pair with him? Okay. So give that a thought and see where that takes you. So I want you to pick that perfect that they accentuate each other. They just they make a perfect pairing. That who would that be? Who's the woman that matches that man? Okay, think about that and try to pick someone that you can relate to that way. Okay, so all right, so now, all right. So you got that. Okay. So now what I want you to do is I want you to think for a minute here. Now, if the actress that you picked and you were standing in a room side by side, and your dream man walked through the door, who would he pick? Would he pick you? Would he pick her? Now, there is kind of a right answer here, and I'll give you a second I want you to really think about it. Okay. All right. All right. So here's my thoughts on this. Okay. If you said he'd pick you, there's proof that you're wrong. Okay. And here's why. Mostly because you're watching me on TikTok right now and you're not with that man. Okay. So the fact that you're here watching TikTok is kind of proof to yourself, I hope, that you're realizing that, if you were his choice, then you would probably be with him or someone equivalent to him, and you wouldn't be sitting here watching me talk on TikTok. Okay, is that logical? Does that make sense? I mean, when you think about it, why? Listen, there are 8 billion people in the world. All right, so about half of those is men. 4 billion men in the world. Okay, and you can't find one. You can't find one man to be happy with out of 8 billion people, and 4 billion of them are men. Okay, think about that. You know, maybe you're the problem. Okay, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm not trying to offend you. I want you to hear everything I have to say. It's all going to come together. So just, I know you're getting mad. Don't get mad. All right, I'm going to explain, but all right. And when I say it, maybe it's you. There's a lot of factors involved here, and I'm going to get to all those. So, but maybe it's you. So just keep that in mind. Keep an open mind. Okay. All right. So if you think you're that 10 or at 9, and I hope I just kind of proved that you weren't. Maybe you just need to start setting your sights lower. Maybe give that guy that's not 6'2" and makes $1 million a year a chance. Maybe that guy can make you happy. Okay. Let me talk about the money for a second. Okay. If the guy makes $1 million a year, but he's $7.5 million in debt, does he really have a lot to bring to the table? I mean, what's he offering? He makes $1 million a year, but he's got $750 million in debt, or $7.5 million in debt. So his debt ratio way outweighs his net worth. Okay, because he only makes $1 million a year, but he's in debt $7.5 million. Okay, how about a guy that only makes $50,000 a year, but He owns a home. He owns a bunch of cars, motorcycles, everything, and everything's paid for. The man is debt free. Debt free. No debt. And he already owns his home, land, cars, motorcycles, trucks, whatever. He has all of his wants, his desires, and he's retired and he's making, and maybe not retired, but he only makes 50,000 a year, and but he's debt free. He has all of the things he needs in life. He's debt free. Now, which one is the better value? The guy that makes $1 million but he's $7.5 million in debt, or the guy that makes 50,000 and he has no bills? He's debt free. Which one makes more sense? What one brings more value to you? Do you think? I mean, think about maybe 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 they both have some money in the bank, but if the $1 million guy loses his job, he's got to find another one because he's got $7.5 million of debt to pay. All right, and his savings is only going to go so far. But the $50,000 guy doesn't know anything. So if he's got a little bit of money in the bank, and he just has to go find another $50,000 a year job or more, pretty easy. Pretty relatively easy to find a job that pays that kind of money. That shouldn't be too hard. So he should be able to find another job, and if he's already retired, then he's got a fixed income that's coming at 50,000. So that, you see what I'm saying? So, which one's actually offering you more security, more value? All right, think about that. Again, there's no right answer. I'm just giving you something to think about. You have to make that decision, what you think. Okay, and maybe talk it over with your friends, but think about it. All right, what's which one actually has got more value? All right, to you. I know which one I would find more value, but that I don't make decisions. You have to make your own decisions here. That's why I'm talking to you. I'm trying to open that box and give you more, more to pick from. Okay. When you women want a 6 foot tall guy, okay, and you all do. I was I've been on dating profiles for a lot of years here, and I read one woman. She's 4'8" and still wanted a guy that was 6'2". Why? Why does a woman 4'8" need a guy that's 6'2"? It makes no sense. I mean, it's in your profiles. The first thing you start listening is all the physical stuff. He's got to be at least 6'2" because I want to wear heels and blah blah. Listen, there's nothing a guy can do about his height. You can't fix that. Okay. And unless he's got a lot of money, he really can't change his looks. I mean, if he's going to go have plastic surgery to make himself look better, a guy on 50,000 a year can't afford that. All right, so maybe the $1 million guy could, but again, he's got $7.5 million worth of debt, so he's got to watch what he spends his money on. So sometimes you ladies put out, conditions on a man that he can't possibly, fulfill. I can't be taller. All right, I'm not 6'2". I can't. So, okay, so maybe maybe think about that. Maybe that's not the most important thing. Maybe, I mean, if the guy doesn't mind you're taller than him when you're in your heels, why would you care? If he's okay with it, why would you not be okay with it? And yeah, maybe he can get some platform shoes to be a little taller and make it a little closer and everything. What would be wrong with that? But you women that just insist on having a guy, there's only 13% of the 4 billion men in the world that are over 6'2", 6'4", okay? All the rest of us, the 87% left behind, 87% of us don't meet that criteria, all right? So the 4 billion women in the world are looking for 13% of the men in the world. You can't all hit him. You can't, even if every one of you could find, there ain't that many men to go around at 13, only 13%. There's not enough to go around for all of you. So you can't all have that 6'4" guy. You can't. You can't have them. They don't exist. Not for everybody. All right? So maybe maybe you could let that one go. Maybe, you know. All right. All right. So all right, let's move on a little more. All right. So what's the first thing besides the height that you would when you look at a guy? Okay, it's are you attracted to him? Right. You got to have an attraction. Okay. Same thing with men. Men have to have an attraction. So, and every guy's different. Some men like boobs. You know, I'm not a boob guy, but a lot of men are boob guys. All right. So you guys, your ladies with your cleavage, you know, yeah, that's probably got his attention. Okay, the boob guy, not mine, but you know, the boob guy. Okay. All right. Well, um, his eyes are going to leave there and come up. Okay. And how do you look here? You know, how does the rest of you look? Okay. So I can tell you, listen, I have a YouTube show. I know I'm on TikTok right now, and this is the only TikTok I'm going to do. But I have a YouTube show that has nothing to do with women. It's not about that. But of course, you know, we're guys and we talk. All right. So you do come up from time to time, and we casually talk about turn ons and turn offs. And from the general consensus, and I have Australia, New Zealand, British Colombia, Dubai. I mean, I have people from all over the world, men from all over the world are in my show. And the consensus is A, piercings. We don't want it. We don't like it. None of us like it. Again, there's exceptions to the rule. All right. But chances are, if you're all pierced up with a, you know, nose ring and all that nonsense, the guy that's looking for you is the guy that's got the bleached blonde mohawk, you know, dollar size earlobe rings in his earlobes, piercings and tattoos all over his face, his neck, down his arms, hands. You know, that's the guy. That's your guy. That's your $1 million man. That you know, that's who you're looking for, because that's who you're going to attract. If you're all tattooed up and pierced, that's the guy you're going to attract. You know, not the clean cut average man. Nope. You know, now how many of those guys are in the world? And how many of those guys are going to check all your other boxes? 6'2", 6'4", you know, six pack abs, $1 million income. I mean, how many men meet that criteria? Okay. All right. So again, we don't want all that fake stuff. The fake eyelashes, the fake fingernails, the Botox lips, the contacts that make your eye color different, hair extensions. We don't want any of that. We don't. You women are trying too hard. Okay, when you do all of that, you spend hours in front of a mirror with makeup and layer on foundations and coloring and all. You know what you are when you're done with all of that? You're what we call unobtainium. Okay, unapproachable. We don't want to. That's either we think you're high maintenance and we don't want you, or you're just out of our league and we don't want you. Either way, the 87% of us don't want you. If that's what you're doing, we don't want you. Maybe that last 13% do, but again, you ladies, you're all fighting for the same 13%. You can't all have him. So you're trying too hard. I know that a woman for me, you know, you need to be able to be ready to go in 30 minutes. If we're sitting at home Friday night watching TV and just say, hey, let's go get something to eat. Yeah, okay, let's go. I ain't got 4 hours for you to do the foundation, and then, you know, we don't have that kind of time. The restaurant's going to close. You got to be ready to go in 30 minutes. Okay. If you need to shower, just comb your hair. Oh, this is what we want, ladies. This is all we want. Comb your hair. Put it in a bun. If you can rock a ponytail, fine. Do that. A little bit of eyeliner. That's all. No fake eyelashes. None of that. Just a little eyeliner. Okay. Little lip gloss. That's it. That's good enough. Okay. You don't need to do anything else. We just want to know you still want to be a girl. That's all. That's enough to tell us that you care enough to put on a little makeup. You still want to be a girl. Okay. That's all we're looking for. All the rest of that, we don't need it. You don't need it and we don't want it. We don't. The last thing I want is a woman that's all Botox and everything, all up and everything, and then you know our relationship makes it to where we're sleeping together, and the next morning, and you take all of that off, and now I get to see what I just slept with, and it's nothing like the woman I met at the bar or wherever I met you. And I am going to tell you where to find the good men. Stick around. So we don't want it. Okay. So if you've got the piercings, take them out. Listen, this is going to be my theme of the whole show. What have you got to lose? I'm going to say it over and over again. The reason you're sitting here listening to me right now is because your way's not working. Okay. So try something new. Try it my way. See what you get. Okay. All right. If you're going to keep doing what you've been doing and it ain't working, listen, that's insanity. Um, I can't think of his name at the moment. Einstein's theory of insanity is to continue doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Okay? That's just insane. Okay? So if you're going to keep doing it your way and you're not getting any results, try it my way. Try it my way. What do you got to lose? Try it my way. Okay? So take out the piercings, all of them. Don't turn. Listen, putting your nose ring in your nose and sticking it up in your nostrils is the same thing as just taking it out. Why would you do that? Just take it out. All right? Just take it out. Let a man see you without it. You know, if the relationship looks like it's going somewhere, you ask him, hey, do you like piercings? You know, if I had a nose ring, I do have a nose ring, but I'm not wearing it. Would that be a problem? Would that bother you? And if he says yes, then don't wear it. I mean, do you want to make your man happy? Do you guys want to have a happy together life? You know, I mean, when a man and a woman get together, they become one. That's the whole purpose of marriage. And today, just living together is basically marriage. Okay, you might as well live as a couple like you're married, even if you don't get married. There's a lot of reasons people don't want to get married today. I understand that. All right, but you still want to live as if you're married. Okay, so you become one. So why would you want to do something that your partner doesn't like? Doesn't make any sense. So just don't go there. All right. So get rid of the all the piercings. Get rid of those. Cover up your tattoos if you've got them on your hands and your face. Oh my God. Try to cover them up the best you can. If you have to put a little makeup on them, on your face and your hands, put a band. If it's something on your hand, you can put a band-aid around. Like I've seen women that have a ring, like they're wearing. Put a band-aid around it. Cover it up. Cover all up the tattoos. Get rid of the piercings. What have you got to lose? Okay. All right. So now we've done the hair, the makeup. Maybe you're not that 10 because you're sitting here listening to me. All right. Are we getting somewhere? Are you starting to see a picture here, ladies? Am I getting through to you? That maybe you need to make some changes and then see what happens. Like I said, what have you got to lose? All right. So clothes. Okay. Listen, a nice sundress in a nice heel, not a stiletto, just a nice heel. Again, just show us you still want to be a girl. That's all we're looking for. We just want to know that you want to be a girl, the girl next door. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for all of that. We're not looking for that. Like I said, that's just unobtainium. We don't want that. None of us do. Okay? All right. So you've got we've gone over maybe lower yourself down in maybe a 6 area. Look for a guy that's in the 4, 5, 6 area. Give him a shot. Told you what to wear, how to fix your makeup, your hair. Just tone it all down. And so jeans. If you're wearing jeans, not the ones that are ripped and tattered, all that. No, just a nice pair of jeans. Okay, with heels, beautiful, wonderful. I'm a leg man. I already told you I'm not a boob guy. I'm a leg man. That's very attractive to me. Okay, when you can rock a pair of jeans and heels, that's my girl right there. Okay, all right, and in a nice top, not too revealing. Listen, don't show it all off. Let us imagine. Don't. One of the best things about men looking at women is that we get to imagine what you look like under there. So don't give it all away. Cover it up. Keep it modest. All right, keep it elegant. All right. Back in the day, and I'm old enough to know this because I'm very old. Donna Reed was the not the pinup girl. No, the everyday woman that every man wanted. Okay, every man wanted their wife to be Donna Reed. If you don't know who Donna Reed is, look her up. If you're too young to know who she is, look her up. Very elegant looking woman, just wearing a plain blue dress below the knee, a string of pearls, little makeup. I don't even know if she wore earrings, to be honest with you. I don't remember. But just a very classy, elegant girl next door. Not over the top, not, and that's what men want. And honestly, that's what we still want. Okay? So, again, what have you got to lose? Try it my way. Okay? Just try it my way. See what what have you got to lose? Okay. All right. Now, another thing I want to talk about is when you women aren't telling us everything. Like, yeah, I've got kids, but you have 9 kids. Okay? By saying you have kids, but not 9 kids, you're not telling us the truth. Omission of the truth is still a lie. So when you're not giving us the whole truth, when you are omitting, leaving out parts of the truth, you're lying to us. Okay? So own it. You got 9 kids? Then you need to tell them. You just need to tell them. If he's out because you got 9 kids, why waste the time? Okay? Why waste his time? Why waste your time? Just tell him. And if he's still in, good. If he's not, okay. But that's a lie. If you're not telling him the truth by leaving part of it out, that is a lie. Omission of the truth is a lie. So don't do that, ladies. Just put it on the table and see where it goes. All right? You don't need to get into a relationship with this guy. I saw one girl, they've been dating for like 3 years and she had a kid. She'd been hiding this kid for 3 years. How in the world do you hide your child for 3 years? And then he found out she had a kid and left her. Because she lied. It might not even be, it wouldn't be the kid that would be the problem I would leave her. It's the lie why I would leave her. I might have loved the kid, if you'd have just told me. But the fact that you've been living together for 3 years and you lied to me for 3 years that you have a kid and you didn't tell me, that's enough for me to leave. The kid's not the problem. You lying is the problem. Okay? So that would be the reason I would leave. Not because of the child, but because you lied about the child. Because you lied to me, you didn't tell me the truth. That's my reason to leave, not the child. Okay? I dated a woman with a child. She was wonderful. I loved the kid. It was magical. Okay. All right. And if you want to hear more about that story, put it in the comments. All right. You want to know about my relationship and why it ended. All right. I'm not going to get into it now, but if you're interested, because this is the only video I'm going to do, ladies. I'm doing this once and done. Unless I get a lot of comments, you want more questions answered, you got more things to say, you want to know about my personal life more, just for relative, I'll tell those stories in another video. But otherwise, there aren't going to be any more videos. So I do want to hear your results. If you do what I tell you and you go out and go to where I tell you and do what I tell you, I want to know how it worked out. Did it work? Did it not work? Did part of it work? Did you get to talk to a man that night? Maybe it didn't work out at the date. Maybe, maybe it wasn't, exactly the man you were looking for, but at least you got a date out of it. That's farther than you've gotten now, right? When you're, okay? All right. All right. Now, the next thing we'll talk about is chivalry is not dead. I'm here to tell you, ladies, chivalry is not dead. All right? Men are chivalrous to each other all the time. I'll be coming out of the parts store with a bag in my hand, parts that I bought, and a guy opens the door for me. And I say, thank you. Right? He's holding the door for a man. And I say, thank you. All right? I do it all the time, too. I hold the door open for men and women. Men always say thank you. Every man I've ever held the door for has always said thank you. I'm not even going to tell you how many women walk through the door, don't even look at me, and like they were entitled to me opening the door for them. That, No, thank you. Why would it hurt you to say thank you? Why can a man, this has got nothing to do with feminism, by the way, okay? If a man can thank another man for opening the door for him, why can't you? I don't care if you're a feminist or not. It's just courtesy. It's common decency that when someone does something nice, you thank them. It's not that hard. And this has nothing to do with feminist or not. Because a man will open a door for a man. I do it all the time, almost daily. I'm either holding a door for a man and he thanks me, or he's holding it for me and I thank him. I've never, ever, ever not said thank you to a man or a woman. If somebody holds the door open for me, I don't care who they are, I'm going to thank them. Okay? Even little kids. A little kid opened the door for me. So thank you. It's just common courtesy. All right. So this isn't about I can open my own door. Feminist bullshit. It's just a courtesy. Somebody was nice. They were nice enough to open the door, hold the door, or whatever. Say thank you. Okay. Do it all the time. It's men all the time. Men, we're brothers in this world. And so when we hold the door for each other, we thank each other every freaking time. We thank each other. Never once have I not had a man say thank you. Not once. Okay? So say thank you. All right? Just went on a date with a woman the other day. All right? Known her for 2 years. I go to a church dinner every Tuesday night. She's one of the ladies that's serving us dinner. And we've always been very kind to each other. We seem to like each other. I finally got up the nerve to ask her out. She said yes. I picked her up. I opened the door for her to my car. I can open my own door. No, thank you. Nope. Just, I can open my own door. Okay. So chivalry's not dead, ladies. It's there. And we men want to do it. But we need you to tell us thank you. We need you to, to reciprocate the gratitude for us doing a nice thing for you. It's just human nature, ladies. It's all it is. But chivalry is not dead, not even close to dead. It's there, okay? But all right. And I'm going to say this. Listen, if you're friends with one of these, women, the feminists that think you're above the man, and maybe you don't think that way, but you have a friend that is that way, you need to stop being friends with her. All right. She is toxic to your well-being. You need to disassociate yourself with anyone that treats other people like they're beneath her. Okay. That she's, superior in every way, that a man should open the door for her. It's entitlement. If you're hanging out with that woman, you need to stop hanging out with that woman, because that's just toxic energy coming your way, and you don't need to be with that. All right. So get away from that woman, or at the very least, if she's your friend, tell her she's wrong and to stop it. All right. She's behaving badly. This is not how human beings treat each other. Okay. And she needs to stop. And if you're one of those women, you're going to be alone. If I'm not getting through to you, you're going to be alone. Okay? There's no man is going to pay for everything. You women think that we're going to pay for your nails and your eyelashes and your Botox and take care of your 9 kids, and we're just going to, no, never going to happen. Okay? Again, there's an exception to every rule. All right? But you are never going to be married to that man. There is no exception to that. You might get a man that'll do it for a while. You'll get the fling, but you aren't never going to get the ring. Never. Never going to happen. Okay? And if you do, again, there's an exception to every rule. But all of you, no. No way. It ain't going to happen. We're maybe, I don't know, 50 years ago, before feminism, I don't know. But I can tell you, in today's society, men are done with you. You told us to leave you alone, and we did. Okay. You told us not to approach. We stopped. All right. Not because we want to, because you asked us to. All right. We followed direction. You told us to stop bothering you, so we stopped bothering you. But chivalry is not dead. It's not. Men do chivalry to each other all the time because we get thank you, you know. But you know, just like the woman I took out on the date, and no, she didn't get a second date. I opened the door for her, and she said, "I can open my own door." I didn't get a thank you. I can open my own door. Okay, all right. Are you getting this, ladies? This has got nothing to do with feminism at all. This is just common courtesy. All right, to show respect. You know, thank you, gratitude. That's what this is. Human nature. All right. If a man can say thank you to another man for holding the door, a woman can say thank you also. It's the same thing. There's no difference. There's no reason not to say thank you. All right. Unless you think you're entitled. Okay. If you're an entitled woman and I'm beneath you, I don't want to be with you. Simple as that. No man wants to be with you if they believe they're beneath you. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Enough of that. Okay. All right. So where do I go next? Let's see. We've talked about all. Okay. All right. Best place to find a man. Okay. Let's talk about that. Um, I've heard you say Home Depot. Well, okay. Again, if you, especially you ladies that are still reaching for that 10 guy, do you really think you're going to find the 10 guy at the Home Depot? Why would the $1 million guy be at Home Depot? He's not at Home Depot. He sent his workers, his help, his helper at Home Depot buying whatever he wanted. He went online, showed him, hey, go buy me this. He ain't there, right? Okay. So who is there? Well, the average guy, the 83%, I'm sorry, the 87% of us that don't meet that 6 foot for $100 million income. The 13% guys are who are not at Home Depot, which is the guys you all want. So you're going to find me there, but not at my best. If I'm roofing or carpentry or whatever, I'm dirty. I've got paint on me. I've got sawdust on me. I got oil. I was working on my car. I'm greasy, oily. We didn't get dressed up to go to Home Depot. So do we look our best? No. Do you want us to approach you when you don't look your best? No. Right? Same thing. Okay. So if you are going to approach it, man, at Home Depot, you can't be coy about it. Listen. He's not looking his best. He's not comfortable. So you have to just walk up to him and say, "I find you attractive. Can I have your number?" No small talk. Hey, can you help me? I don't know where electrical tape is, or none of that. All right. Because now you're putting this guy that's not at his best, and you're just going to have to go for it, right? If you want the guy to respond to you, you're just going to have to walk up to him and say, "Listen, I find you very attractive, even though you're not looking your best. I get it, but can I get your number? Because I'd like to go out with you." All right, just take your shot. Don't beat around the bush. If you're going to go there, knowing that the guy he's not at his best, then don't play around. Just go for it and see what happens. All right, because the longer I'm standing there looking the way I look, talking to a beautiful woman, is going to make me more and more uncomfortable. That you're talking to me and I find you attractive, and and I look like crap, and God, if the whole time I'm thinking, man, if you saw me look at my best, I might have a shot. All right, the guy's thinking the entire time you don't have a shot, because he's not looking his best. Here you are. So don't chat him up, just go for it. All right. Okay. So but I don't think that's the place to go look. But if you're going to try it, you got to just take your shot. That's all there is to it. Okay. Go to a bar. Okay. If you ladies want to go to a bar, go alone. All right. Don't go in a gaggle. All right. If there's 7 beautiful women over there at that table and I'm sitting at the bar and I want to ask one of you out, which one do I ask? Do I want to shoot my one shot at one of you when I would love to go out with any of you and lose the other six? No, I ain't going to take that chance. I'm not coming over there and saying, you know, hi, hey, can I buy you a drink? And you say no. But one of the girls with you would have said yes had I asked them. But now they don't want me because they're the second choice. Now, if you are one of those ladies and you wanted me to ask you, then step up. Say, you can buy me a drink. Cool. I'm in. I'll take you. More than likely, I'm going to take you. She said no. You said yes. Come on, I'll buy you a drink. Let's go sit down. All right. So don't be afraid to make that call. All right. If that happens, if you're there, because I know all you ladies aren't going to listen to me. So if you're going to still try to do it your way, insanity, at least put a different spin on it. If you're there and you want the guy to buy you a drink, and he asked her and she said no, say, you can buy me a drink. He might say no. He might. That's the chance. Listen, that's the chance us men have to take every time. Every time we ask a woman out, we're taking that chance. Rejection. It's not a fun thing. Okay? All right. So where do you go? All right. Let me stay on the bar for a second more. If you have to go with 1, 2, that's it. Go by yourself. Sit at the bar. Don't order a drink. Water, tea, soda, no mixed drink. Now, why do I say that? Because the good man, which is what you all say you want a good guy, a nice guy. Where are all the good men? A good man is not, if something should go well that night and you want to take the man home, a good man is not going to make love to a woman that's been drinking. All right? I'm not. I want to know you want me for me, not because you're drunk. Okay? So if you've been drinking, you're already off. You're off limits. I'll talk to you all night long, but I'm not taking you home. I'm not going home with you. If you've been drinking, I'm not going home with you, because that's what a good man does. That's what a good, respectable man does. He doesn't take advantage of a woman that might be intoxicated and not thinking clearly. I don't want to be that regret the next morning. Oh my God, did I sleep with you? Did we sleep together last night? Oh my God. I don't want that. So I'm not going there. So don't drink, ladies. All right? If you think there's a shot, that you might get lucky because you want to get lucky, I'm not saying it's, not expected, but at the slim chance that you want to get lucky, that you find a nice guy and you really like him and you're drinking, if he's a nice guy like me, he's not going home with you. We'll have another date. We'll try it again, but you can't be drinking. All right? Because I don't want to be that regret the next morning. All right? That's just me. And I think other nice guys are going to be the same way. All right? And that's what you ladies keep saying. Where are all the good men? Where are all the nice guys? Where are the good men? Okay. All right. So where are the good men? Where are you going to find good men? All right. And this is all age groups, ladies, 18 to 80. This will get you a man to open up to you. Okay. You're going to do a little work, but very little. Okay. So here's the scene. You've already done your makeup and you dressed the way I told you. Your makeup, got rid of the tattoos and you covered them, and you got rid of the piercings, and you're just looking like a girl next door. You're just looking good. You just look like a girl that cares. Not, just a girl that cares. Okay? All right? Here's where you go. You go on Facebook and look for the local car show. Now, I'm not talking about a big judge show where they're going to have prizes and trophies. Every night of the week. Now, listen, I live in Florida here, and we have a car show every night of the week. It's just a meet and greet. It's a cruise-in. We just show up with our cars. We park all against each other. There's usually a guy there playing music, and we just hang out. Okay? Every night of the week. You can go any night of the week. You're always going to find guys with their cars somewhere. So go on social media. If you don't have Facebook, but you have something else, go there. Find out where there's a meet and greet or a car cruise in tonight, tomorrow night, whatever. Okay? And then go there. Just the way I told you. What have you got to lose? All right? You go there and you start looking at cars. You're really looking at men, unless you're a car girl. If you're a car girl, you're already in. All right? I mean, if you know anything about a car, and you're the guy sitting here in front of a Dodge Charger or something, and you start chatting with him, and even if he's not interested at first, if you say, does this have the 5.7 Hemi in it? I mean, that's going to light him up. I mean, if you know what motor's in this car, you're a car girl. He's in. All right, 100%. Because men love to talk about their cars. So you show any interest or knowledge that you're a car girl, you're in. If you're not, fake it. Lie. You women all know how to lie. Okay? Fake it. Pretend like you know it. You pretend you like, don't pretend like you know cars. Just pretend that you like cars. Okay? If you don't like cars, it's not your thing. Pretend that it is. Just for tonight. Just try it. Okay? And what you're going to do, because you're really scanning the guys, and so you see a cute guy sitting probably in a chair behind his car, maybe in front of his car, sometimes, one or the other. All right? You just look straight at him and you say, is this your car? And if he says, yeah, this is my car. Oh, wow. I really love your car, If he's into you, he's going to get out of the chair, he's going to come over, and he's going to start talking to you. And he's going to talk up a storm, but he's going to tell you all about his car. If you get a one-word answer, he ain't interested. Okay? If you tell him, hey, does that have the 5.7, Hemi in it? Now he's interested. I don't care who he is. He's interested. If you know what motor's in the car, you know some fact about that particular car that he knows. If you're looking at a Pontiac G8 or a Corvette, is this the 6.0 or the 6.2? And if you can throw numbers at him or you know something about the car, you're in. I don't care if he wasn't attracted to you. He is now. Maybe your looks weren't what he was looking for, but you're a car girl. Now he's interested. He don't care what your looks are anymore. Now he's got a girl that knows cars, likes cars. You're in. Plain and simple. You're in. Okay? All right? So but that's where you're going to, 18 to 80, ladies, they're all there. Men are all there. They might be married, maybe not. Some men cheat, so you might get a date anyway. Even if he's married, you might get a date anyway. I can't speak for everybody. I'm just telling you that you're gonna get farther here than you have with everything you've tried, with all of the makeup and everything, and going to the bar or whatever, and getting rejected every night. You're not going to get rejected tonight. Something's going to happen tonight. At the very least, you're going to have a conversation with the man, which is way more than you've been getting the other way, your way. So again, what have you got to lose? Just try it. All right. So you guys are talking it up. He's into you now. You're having a nice conversation. Okay. Here's the hook. This is because it wasn't a date. This was all casual meeting. You guys are already talking. It's not a blind date anymore. It's not. Here's where you go. This is what you do. Hey, I was going to head over to Applebee's for half-price appetizers after the show. Would you like to join me? Okay. If he's into you, he's going to take that. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm in. Yeah, I'll join you. That sounds great. Okay. Now you've established a very cheap date because it's half-price appetizers. And you, okay, so you might have to pay for their first round, which is usually between $4 and $6. Okay. All right. Is he worth $6? I mean, the appetizers at half price aren't that expensive. So, and if he orders a drink, you order a drink, he'll probably pay for his own drink. If you guys are really hitting it off and just round 2 comes around, hey, I'm still hungry. You want some? He's probably going to ask you, do you want something else? This one's on me. That's what's going to happen. And by the end of the night, he might even pay for the whole ticket. If it's really gone well and he's really happy and everything, he would say, listen, I'm just going to pick up the whole tab. I've got this. Thank you. I had a great time tonight. Thank you. Might happen. All right. But this is way farther than you've gotten your way. So try it my way. Okay? See what happens. Give it a shot. Okay? All right. So let's see. Is there anything else I want to talk about? No. Anything else I would talk about would be about me. And I already know I'm not on any of your sheet, so we don't need to talk about me. I think I've covered it all. Is there anything else that you women have done or talked about that I think I should cover? Um, I don't know. Maybe. If so, comment at the bottom. If there's a topic I missed, something you want to know about men, because I am a man, I talk to men, I can answer your questions. All right. I've already told you what we're looking for. You can choose to believe me or not. You've already tried it your way and it doesn't work. That's why you're sitting here literally watching me. All right. So your way's not working, because if it was, you wouldn't be sitting here listening to me. So now try it my way. See what happens. What do you got to lose? Right? Okay. All right. So I'm going to cut it off here. If you have more questions, I didn't cover a subject, you want an opinion on something, comment at the bottom. Okay. If you want to know more about my second date or my date with the woman, comment at the bottom. Got a lot of funny stories I can tell you, but anyway, if I don't get any responses from this, bad responses are still responses. I will respond to, if you're just going to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'll still respond to that. Okay, you're entitled to your opinion, but again, your way's not working. That's why you're here listening to me. So try it my way, and then come back and tell me, well, it didn't work. I did everything you said, except don't lie to me. Tell me the truth. Just listen. I don't know you. I can't see you. You're typing. Just tell me the truth. Well, I couldn't go out without makeup, so I did still put on all the makeup and the fake lashes there, but it didn't work. Oh well, okay. Because I don't think I'm attractive. Listen, don't self-eliminate. Never self-eliminate. Okay. Be you, and see if someone doesn't accept you for you. Don't self-eliminate because you don't think you're going to look good enough without all of that. All right. Just try it. Try it my way, see what happens. Okay? All right. All right, so I'm going to leave it here. Ladies, comment at the bottom, please. If this was helpful, if you got anything on it, like, don't like. I don't know. Listen, I've never done TikTok before, so I don't even know if that's a thing. I know YouTube, but this is only my only video to try to help you ladies. I hope it was helpful. I hope you got something out of this. I hope you know a little more about men. And that's it. There won't be unless I get a lot of follow-up questions at the bottom or comments, or you told me it worked, it didn't work, you want more. There isn't going to be a second video. This is it. But it's in your hands now, ladies. If you want that second video, you know what to do. All right. That's it. Thank you, ladies. I hope it helped. Good luck to you. Stay positive. Shivery is not dead. And let's see what happens. Okay? All right. Bye-bye.